conversation, family tales, and where you're going. Truths you need without the sugar coating.
What's going on, everybody? Here we are again. I got a couple of emails for us all. But before we get there, Shannon and I I'm not going to say it right now. I'm going to get to it. But with the whole LinkedIn thing, we've had some little things that popped up. I may talk about that next podcast, next week. But we have a decision. We have made a decision. Before we announce it and tell people what's going on, we're going to get a couple things finalized for that. So there's that. Now, that being said, life's been good. We just got back from Montana. We had a rugby tournament up there, and during the rugby tournament, our son played his team. They did very well. They had 4 games, from my understanding. So I don't want to misquote, but what I understood, they played 2 Montana teams, basically the first place and second place Montana state champions, and we paid the state champions for Hawaii and state champion for Washington State. So it was 4 teams, 4 games in a weekend, and essentially all for our team pretty much won. I mean, when I say pretty much, I mean like literally they won. They beat everybody's team. It was basically 4-0 when it came to winning the games. And what happened was essentially, which is the most beautiful thing, essentially you had the first game was, not first game, the winners were, the second place winner was the Montana state champs. They were the second place. Now, their total score among all their games was like 35 points between all 4 games that they played. That was their total score. We won all 4 games, didn't lose to anybody, and our total score among all 4 games was 176. So, first and second place, 176 to 30. Now, average that over 4 games, that tells you the average per game and how bad we actually beat them, which is pretty incredible. Again, Harriman's got a good team. They did very well, and, it is what it is. So, anyway. Got a couple emails. Only going to do two emails tonight, and I want to talk about these because it is important. And the first one is it's a very good email. Okay, from Sam in Portland, Oregon. It's a very good email. Wants to know my stance on something, but let me get into it. It says, "Hey Devin, I've heard you talk about your belief in God on the podcast, and I'll be honest. It bothers me. Okay. Not because I think you're a bad person, but because I find it damaging to publicly push a belief system that, as far as I can see, has no concrete proof behind it. To me, believing in God feels like an outdated way of thinking, especially in a time where science has given us real answers, measurable, testable truths. Faith, in contrast, often seems like a shortcut around the harder conversations and real world understanding. I respect that everyone has the right to believe, has the right to believe what they want, but don't you think putting that belief out there as a guide for others, especially with your influence, I don't know how much influence I have, okay, but anyway, is a bit irresponsible? Why, when you can't prove it, it's even real? Curious where you truly stand on this. Thanks, Sam in Portland, Oregon." Sam, here's the deal. You have a lot going on in this whole thing, right? One, you say there's no God. That's what you're saying, because you want things that are tangible. You want things that you can touch. You think that a faith system is completely outdated. Okay. I hear you. You respect my belief, but you don't think I should be telling people what I believe, especially with my influence. According to you, I have a big influence. I don't know how ginormous my influence is. I see the numbers of people who watch, people who listen, people who comment, all those different things out of all the different things that I put out there, and it is a lot. But how much I influence them on doing things, that is to be seen at this point. Now, that being said, let's take on a few things. You don't think I'm a bad person, but you listen to me. So thank you. I appreciate that. But you say you believe in science. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I do too. I believe in science. I believe that God is like literally the greatest scientist that ever existed. And you say there's no proofs of God, but literally life itself is proof that there is a God. So if you take everything that you know and you take it all the way back that science has proved, that always leads us to one question. Where did that come from? It's pretty simple. Where did it come from? Okay. Now, giving someone an idea to believe in God, I've never pushed my belief system on anybody. I will tell people what I believe, but they ask me, just like you have here, and I'll tell you exactly how I believe, what I believe, and why I believe. Have I seen proofs that God is real? 100%. And it's in its simplest terms, when I have seen my children to be born, that was proof enough that God exists. Seriously. And sure, you can say chemical reaction, bloom, bloom, bloom. But what gives you that existence? You don't just come to. You don't have your consciousness and self-awareness is not something that just is there. It comes from somewhere. Okay? Plain and simple. Now, believing in God is outdated. Sure. Here's the thing. A lot of people believe that, believing in God and having faith is outdated. You're a small bunch. You're a small group. I'm going to ask this question. What does it hurt to believe in God? Simple question. Does it hurt? No. Does it help? Yes. You're not hurting if I believe in God. Our neighbors don't hurt if I believe in God. The people on the other side of this planet, where if you drew a straight line, it does not affect them if I believe in God. Believing in God makes people better. Even if you just went off the basic moral aspect of believing in God. Sure, I know people say, well, more people have been killed in the name of religion. Sure, they have. But that's a person doing something that I believe is wrong. Simple, plain and simple. If you say that God told me to kill somebody, I don't believe that. Sure, there's script. You can say there's scriptures saying that this person had to do this. Okay, you know what? That person does not. Even Hitler thought he was doing the right thing, but I don't think his belief in God would have pushed him to kill that many people. That was just pure evil. Okay. God exists. God is real. Bad things happen. Here's the thing. When it comes to bad things that happen, it's not that God's making bad things happen. It's people making poor decisions, and then they're suffering the consequences from those poor decisions. And unfortunately, decisions from other people can trickle down to the consequences can fall upon you as well. Okay? You have to understand there is personal responsibility in everybody's life. We all have agency. We all have the ability to do good things and bad things. Hopefully, we're all doing good things. But if you're not, do better. If you don't believe in God, Sam, that's fine. But if you're doing good things for people, then you're technically someone could say you're doing God's work. You could want to argue that all day long, but why argue it? Because it doesn't affect you. If just by saying that God exists bothers you, then maybe that's something you should work on. Because whatever a person believes should be their own. And it's fine. And if they find a group of people that they believe the same thing, that is fine too. It does not hurt anyone to believe in God. As far as my influence in talking about this, I hope people do. I hope that people hear it, and I hope it turns them to do something good. I hope they investigate it and they look into it and say, hey, I can believe that. I mean, okay, if we've heard science, prove science all day long. I've been, during COVID, it was forced down our throats. Literally, people were saying, follow the science, follow the science. Well, the science was proved wrong even during COVID, but people still believed it. And they still believe it even now. There are people who deny it and don't even care because they think, well, though the government would never hurt us. I trust what you consider a non-existent God more than I trust our government. That simple. So, and yes, science does help, but on the other side, science proves God. Again, God is the greatest scientist that ever existed, and that's a good thing. That helps. If you understand that, to know how you came from things. He said, go outside and just look at the world. You'll see proofs of God. Look at your children. Look at the things that are around us. It is amazing. As far as being irresponsible, I think it's irresponsible to tell someone that their belief is irresponsible. My belief hurts no one. Yours diminishes something from someone. So if you truly believe that doing the right thing is the right thing, then why would we want to diminish someone else's belief if that belief helps them to be a better person? Think about it in those terms. Think about it that way. Pretty simple. I'll say it all day long. Yes, I do believe in God. I try to live my life accordingly too. Try not to use my decision making to affect other people's lives. And if you're angry at God for some reason, that's why you are where you are. I'm sorry. Figure out why you're angry. Trace it back, and then think about, was it God that did that? Or was it a person that did that? Or was it something that you did that was not equal? So, usually when people go down the road of saying God doesn't exist, it's because they've lowered their standards. Eventually, at some point, we're always say our standard is always up here. But then what happens is we lower our standard and we justify doing that bad thing. Yes, I'll say that bad thing. And then what happens is we justify it, and so now we're not where our standard used to be. So we justify it, and we say, "Hey, this is where we really are." Then we justify it again as something that's even lower, something we know is not necessarily right, or that we should or should not do. If we don't do it, if we do something bad again, then we justify that because we don't want to acknowledge that we may be doing something that's wrong. Because we don't want to feel like we're doing something wrong. That's really the problem with most of the world these days. They want to justify their actions to say that they are right 100%. Where in reality, there is moral right, and people need to understand that. You don't kill people. You don't steal from people. You respect life as a whole, and you keep on going. Anyway. Sam, I think hopefully I answered that question. Probably not the way you wanted it, but it's the way that I believe. And I knew you probably know that I was not going to back away from my belief just because someone that says that they think it's wrong and irresponsible, because my belief is my belief and I have the right to do so. And I encourage you to look into it yourself and figure it out. What's right for you? What has God affected your life in a good way, or have you done things that are contrary to that would pull you away? I guarantee it's the second. You may live a good life. You may not be hurting anyone, but do your standards meet up to what you think God would want you to have? That's really the question. Anyway, all right, let's go on to number 2. This is a good one. All of these are good. You guys, I really appreciate you guys that email me. They're all good. It's amazing. Anyway, let's get to it. Hey Devin, I was in a relationship for a little over a year, and honestly, I thought things were solid. But out of the blue, she dumped me. And within a couple of days, she was already dating another guy. It hurt, but I moved on. Now I'm in a happy relationship with someone who actually values me. And I finally feel like I'm in a good place again. Here's the problem. My ex has started messaging me out of nowhere. She's being casual, saying she wants to catch up over coffee, but I have a gut feeling she wants more than just a friendly chat. I don't want to be rude, but I also don't want to open up the door that should stay shut. What should I do? Should I hear her out or just leave the past where it belongs? Thanks, Derek in Kansas City. Derek, here's the thing. First of all, I want to address the elephant in the room right here. She started dating a guy within a few days of you guys being away. You only know that because that's when you found out. He was in the picture while you were in the picture too. So there's the gut punch. You've moved on. That's good. But he was there. She was already going out with this dude while you guys were together. Sad to say, but that's the reality. It's horrible. People should not treat people that way. People need to be more respectful to other people, and they need to treat people the way they want to be treated. If you're in a relationship and you don't want to be in that relationship because somebody is doing something that you don't like or you don't believe in, or you just don't feel like it's right, get out. Get out and then start dating someone else. What she did to you, she saw grass is greener on the other side, and so she went to the greener grass. And now she has you on the back pocket here saying, hey, maybe he's around. But what's probably happening in her, she sees that you're in a relationship and you're happy. She wants that happiness, and so wants to waffle and come back to you because she's lonely and she knows what she did was sucky, and it doesn't help her in any means because she's just a bad person. People can be bad people, especially in relationships. People don't understand that relationships are important, and I'm a firm believer in them. I've been married for 24 years, known my wife for longer, probably 27 years roughly, 24, 26. Yeah, 27 years I've known my wife. But being in a relationship, it's good. There's nothing wrong with that. So you're saying she's being casual, and you have a gut feeling that she wants be more than a friendly chat. She does. She wants to ruin what you currently have, and then you guys will maybe have a good time together until she dumps you again. You were the fallback guy from the beginning. That's the reality here. You were never number one. You were not the person who she wanted to be with. You were just the person of the convenience at the time. That's the truth. Now, I'm going to be rude here. Why haven't you blocked her? You said you don't want to be rude, but you also don't want a door to be open that should probably stay shut. You should have blocked her. She is an ex for a reason. I don't know any other way to say this. She was an ex for a reason. You were not together for a reason because she left you for some other dude. Why is this even a question? With the girl you're with right now, I guarantee that if she found out that if you have even responded back to your old ex, she's probably going to be pissed. Not because of jealousy, just for the fact that you would fall back into that stupid routine, or there is a potential of being in that routine. What you need to do is you need to block it. You need to delete the messages, and you need to not think about your ex ever again. Again, let the dogs stay with the dogs. You don't need that. You don't deserve that. If you're happy and you truly are happy and you're with someone that cares about you, And then why would you ruin a good thing? But questions like this always boggle my mind, and I'm not mad, I'm not frustrated, but it just boggles the mind because it seems like the simplest terms should be the simplest answer should be the only answer to ever have. Again, she's an ex for a reason. You don't look back. You never look back. Plain and simple. You can remember the good things and the good times that you used to have, which is fine. And you can remember the bad things that happened. So that's really the key here. You remember the bad things that went on. Why would you want to put yourself in that situation again? Because you have a history. You understand the history, right? And you probably questioned yourself, what did you do wrong? Honestly, in your relationship, you may have done nothing wrong, but she was cheating already. And because she was cheating already, she's the bad person, and you're blaming yourself for a failed relationship. You should never blame yourself for that. She failed it. She cheated. She moved on very quickly. And honestly, everybody that I've ever met, when I find out that their significant other has whether they divorced, whether they broke up, or whatever it was, whether it's marriage or not marriage, whenever I've seen them, one side immediately get involved with somebody, 99% of the time, that person, that somebody, was there in the beginning. Plain and simple. So you don't need to be the fallback guy for your ex. Your ex did you wrong. You should never have to deal with that. And I'm sorry that you had to deal with that, but you learned. Well, at least I hope you learned. You emailed me here, so now you're questioning something, but you saying you don't want to be rude. Well, she was rude to you. You should have zero contact with her by text. If you run into her while you're on a date or with something with your lady, she probably saw you guys together. I'm putting money that she saw you and your new relationship together, and she felt jealous that you have something that she does not have. And the reason she doesn't have it is because she's always looking for the greener grass. Plain and simple. So don't ruin a good thing just because your ex wants to come sniffing around again. You don't need that. Move on. Plain and simple. And I've said it again. I'll say it all, forever. They are an ex for a reason. Keep them an ex. Why would you want to go back? Honestly, you were in an abusive relationship. If she was dating someone pretty quick right after you got, almost immediately after you guys broke up, after she broke up with you, that's abuse. Now, what she should have done, she should have been honest and said, hey, and this is the problem with most people. Most people refuse to be honest when it comes to their relationships. They're afraid if they speak up and they say the truth to their significant other, that they're afraid they may lose them. If you can't tell the truth to your wife, to your girlfriend, to your husband, to your boyfriend, whatever, if you can't be you, for one, if you have to change who you are to be who they want you to be, that's wrong. Over time, we do change and we do get better, and sometimes it depends on the situation, but most of the time we change for the better. If you're out doing good things, you're always going to turn into something better. Your ex sees you in a relationship and they're jealous, so they want to have what they used to have because you became the fallback guy. Pretty simple. What you got is amazing. Keep running with what you have. Be happy with what you have. And honestly, if she is really good, put a ring on it. Lock it down. Make it last. Seriously. Don't throw away something because of the what ifs. Because if you keep looking at the what ifs, you're never going to have anything. Because something amazing may be standing right in front of your face, but you keep thinking of the what ifs. So, Derek, you got something amazing. Stick with it. Do the right thing. block your ex, block the number, go in and block the number, make it disappear, never get another text message or phone call or whatever from her ever again. Be happy and let her be the jealous one over you, because she threw away something amazing and because she couldn't see what was there in front of her face. So stop complaining about it. Seriously. The reality is, move on, be happy. And I promise you, if you do that, you will end up with an amazing relationship. Treat your lady as if she was gold. Protect her, take care of her, and she'll do the same thing for you. Anyway, thank you guys for emailing me. Appreciate it. Thanks for all that. I'm going to probably open up the call lines within the next few weeks so people can call in and, we'll talk about problems that way. I will not give away any names. If you don't want your name given away, no problem. You just have to text me beforehand, say, hey, call me so-and-so, and I'll call you so-and-so, or we just won't say your name at all. But the reality is, you guys keep being awesome. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it. Seriously, this is a beautiful thing. I love the fact that people trust me and trust me with whatever my knowledge is to throw it into their lives. Anyway, I will talk to you guys later. We'll see ya.
We're free. Wisdom shared from heart to heart, pushing through when life falls apart. Raw and true, no hesitation, covering life without the reservation. Family roots and ways